Is another video from your wee pal Scottie Pipes. How are you all today? So, the pipe I've been using today is my Dr. Plum Dinky, which as a lot of people know is one of my favourite pipes. I've been using a new tobacco today that was sent as a sample. It is, don't know if you can see that, Seattle Pipe Club Mississippi River. Now, I'll get on to telling you about the tobacco in a minute. First thing I'm going to do is tell you a little bit, like I did in the other video, I'll tell you a bit about Dr. Plum. So, the brand name of Dr. Plum is owned by A. Oppenheimer & Co., who also own a company called Cadogan Investments. The brand was created, wait for this, in 1925 by J.B. Rubinovich. And to start with, the pipes were actually made in French factories. So the companies that were made them were Rop, who also make their own pipes, and Rouchon and Verguet. These pipes, from the start, proved very popular. In 1962, you could buy one for the equivalent of £2.31 a pipe. Now they're usually about £25 and up, depends on where you get them from and what the retail price is. Originally, they used to come with aluminium tube systems, and they were advertised as Dr. Plum's perfect pipe, because all you needed to do when you were cleaning them is just twist off the stem, which probably would have made it a lot less hassle for people to clean. Not that it's a big hassle now anyway, seeing as you can use it with or without a filter, depending on what your preference is. Although they were French made originally and they were stamped as such, they are now in fact British made. So they're made in factories in the UK for everyone that enjoys a good pipe. And don't get me wrong, it is 100% one of my favourite pipes. Dr. Plums are, I mean, I think some people class them as like a budget pipe because they're not overly expensive. But for me, that just adds to the allure of them, because I think they're absolutely bloody fantastic. They're definitely one of my favourite pipe, and they're definitely a company that I would use a lot more in the future. They come in smooth, rusticated, billiard. There's lots of different types of Dr. Plum pipes. Some people don't like them. Some people feel that they burn too hot, but I think personally that depends on what kind of tobacco you're using. Because I've used it with some tobaccos and it's burned hot, but I've used it with others and it's burned absolutely fine and it's kept cool. But in general, I mean, if I was to give it out of 10, I'd probably say an 8.5 or a 9, which is pretty good because, like I say, it's one of my favourite pipes. Now I'm going to talk about Mississippi River. So, the history of this tobacco is there's a master blender called Joe Langford, and it's said that the recipe for Mississippi River came to him in a dream. Now, I'm not sure what to think of that, because it seems a bit, prophecy, imagining stuff, making out a cool story to come up with for making the tobacco. Well, that's just my opinion. It could 100% be true that it came to him in a dream, and so what he did anyway. So it came to him in a dream, and he quickly scribbled down the recipe that had come in his head. So he must have had pretty good thoughts to have like a recipe appear to him. What he did was he wrote down the recipe, and then the next day he spent hours and hours and hours and hours trying to work out how to actually prepare it. And he made so many batches that were rubbish. He made some that were okay, and then eventually he made Mississippi River. So what he did was he used oriental leaf, a pinch of latakia, and perique. The flavouring though is a mix of dried fruit and dark chocolate. Now, for me, I'm not a dark chocolate fan, so it's nice tobacco. Don't get me wrong. It's a good tobacco, but it's not one of the top for me. I don't like dark chocolate, and to be honest, when I'm smoking it, it doesn't burn very well, in my opinion. I don't know if that's just because maybe the sample that I got from a friend is maybe too moist, but it's not a tobacco I would go out and buy myself. Other people will probably love it, but for me personally, it's not mind-blowing for me. Out of 10, I'd probably give it about a 6, because like I say, it's good tobacco. It's got good strong flavouring, but not being a fan of dark chocolate, it's not for me, I'm afraid. One last thing before I go on this video. One of my good friends, Lewis Mackenzie, who has had a YouTube channel called Sherlock Mackenzie Pipes, I believe, or something like that. He did a shout out to me on his last video, which is so much appreciated. So I'm doing a shout out back to him. I'm going to try and convince him to keep doing YouTube, because he says that he's leaving YouTube, but I'm determined to keep him going because he is absolutely fantastic at what he does. He is so knowledgeable. He has taught me so much about pipes, about tobacco, about what kind of filters to use, what kind of blends to try. Basically everything that I'm learning every day, majority of it comes originally from Lewis Mackenzie, but also the other guys on the Facebook group that I mentioned in my last video, Pipe Smokers UK. It is one of the best groups I've ever been in, with great members. They're so knowledgeable. They know absolutely everything. If you have a question, they'll tell you. So there's Darren Kershaw, Lewis Mackenzie, Chris O'Connor. There's so many of them, and every question I have, even if I think it's daft, they don't, and they will have an answer. If they don't have an answer, they'll find one for you. So I just want to do a massive shout out to all the guys at Pipe Smokers UK for helping me on my journey, because I know I'm still learning. I'm still finding out stuff every single day about tobacco, about pipes, about fillers, about inhaling, not inhaling, retrohaling. There's so much stuff that you can learn, and this group is 100% the place to do it. If you ever want to become a pipe smoker, join this group on Facebook, Pipe Smokers UK, because it is the place to be. I've made so many friends on my journey. I've only been doing it about a year. I've made so many friends. Everyone's been so helpful. I've had samples sent to me by other pipe smokers. They've given me advice what to try, what not to try. They've told me what to do and what not to do, and I could not be more grateful for everyone in that group. So check out the group. Like I say, check out Sherlock Mackenzie as well, because he's fantastic. And like always, guys, keep it smoky and have a great day. See you later.